A brief introduction to elections in Taiwan. Elections in Taiwan can be classified into 9 categories. The presidential and vice presidential and legislative elections are the 2 types held at the central level. Elections of municipal mayors, municipal councilors, county magistrates, city mayors, county, city councilors, township chiefs, township councilors, and chiefs of village boroughs are held at the local level. Elected officials all serve a 4-year term. Election and electoral authority. Elections in Taiwan are conducted by the Central Election Commission, CEC, with the municipality, county, and city election commissions under its jurisdiction. All elections are processed on the basis of the presidential and vice presidential election and recall law, and the public officers election and recall law, and under the principles of universal, fairness, directness, and secrecy. To ensure the impartiality and independence of election commissions, the commissioners of election commission at all levels shall be beyond party control, exercise their powers independently, and discharge their responsibilities in accordance with the law and serve a 4-year term. The number of commissioners belonging to a given political party must not exceed 1/3 of the total. The chairperson, vice chairperson, and 9 commissioners of the CEC are nominated by the Premier and confirmed by the legislature. The commissioners of the municipality, county, and city election commission, including a chairperson, are nominated by the CEC and appointed by the Premier. Election and political parties. According to the election law, political parties are entitled to nominate candidates in all elections. Since additional articles went into effect on June 10, 2005, the amendment to the ROC Constitution implemented the single-member district, 2-ballot electoral system, resulting in political parties being much more active in elections. The Kuomintang, Democratic Progressive Party, Taiwan Solidarity Union, People First Party, and Nonpartisan Solidarity Union are the 5 parties holding seats in the Legislative Yuan after the 8th legislature election. Independents can also freely register as candidates in elections. Election procedures. Generally speaking, the election procedure in Taiwan consists of the activities listed below. Processing time varies according to the office being contested. Election announcement. Candidate nomination and registration. Lot drawing to determine the order of candidates. Display and public release of voter lists. Election bulletin printing. Campaign activities. Public forums. Election day. Electee list announcement. Awarding of election certificates. Characteristics of elections. Compilation of voter lists. Taiwan has a comprehensive household registration system. Compilation of voter lists is the statutory duty of government agents. With the exception of citizens residing overseas during presidential and vice presidential elections, citizens do not have to register to vote. Unless incompetence has been declared, citizens age 20 or above who have resided in their respective constituencies for a stipulated period are entitled to vote. Their records are automatically filed by household registration officers at least 20 days prior to the election day. There are approximately 17 million voters throughout the country, which is around 3/4 of the population. The right to register for candidacy. The candidates for president and vice president are nominated by their respective political party or endorsed by a mandatory number of citizens. Candidates for legislative yuan seats who campaign nationwide and overseas require political party nomination. Otherwise, any citizen is free to register as a candidate. Government-funded campaign activities. Activities sponsored by the government are 1. Public forums. Public forums are arranged by the election authority to provide the opportunity for all candidates to deliver campaign-related speeches. Some forums are broadcasted on nationwide TV stations. Especially in the election of district-elected legislators, municipal mayors, county magistrates, city mayors, election authorities may arrange public debates with a consensus of 2/3 of the candidates in an electoral district. 2. Provision of advertising time slots for political parties on TV. In the nationwide and overseas legislators part of the legislative yuan election, the candidate's political party can submit ad campaign videos to the CEC. After review, the CEC will purchase ad time slots, equally allocating time to each political party. 3. Printing election bulletins. The bulletins contain the candidate's resume and campaign manifesto. 4. Campaign expenditure subsidy. The government will subsidize a candidate and a political party's campaign expenditures when they win a certain number of votes. 5. Taxation exemption. Political donations made by any individual or company under a specific amount for any candidate, political party, and all campaign expenditures are tax exempt. Reservation of political participation rights for minority ethnic groups and women. In order to ensure the right of political participation by minorities and women, a minimum number of representative seats in any legislative body are reserved for them. Fair and open scrutiny system. Approximately 14,000 polling stations are set up across the country. The number of electors assigned for one polling station does not exceed 1,500. A total of 190,000 poll workers are usually on duty to serve the country. According to electoral law, election monitors must be present at a polling station. Monitors are dispatched as recommended by the candidates or political parties. For the presidential and vice presidential election, each group of candidates is entitled to recommend one monitor per polling station. For the elections of the legislators, the municipal mayors, and the county magistrates, city mayors, a monitor in each station can be requested by the political parties of candidates on the condition that the number of votes received by the party totaled no less than 5% of the votes cast in the last nationwide election, including overseas voters. For the election of local public officials, the candidates may recommend monitors. The quota for the total number of monitors required is shared equally by the candidates. Diversified campaign activities. In recent years, campaign activities in Taiwan have become quite diversified. Marketing strategies and advertising creativity are being introduced into campaigns. Campaign flags, caps, vests, billboards, vehicle body advertisements, flyers, posters, newspaper and TV advertisements, the Internet. Campaign rallies are all medium frequently used by candidates to canvass voters and to gain voter approval. Taiwan has many TV news channels and news agencies. Campaign news can be easily accessed by the public and used by voters to facilitate their decision process. Facilitating voters with mental or physical disabilities. Election commissions are greatly concerned about how to make voting more convenient for voters with mental or physical disabilities and have taken the following measures to facilitate their voting processes: recording audio versions of electoral bulletins, arranging sign language interpretation for electoral public forums, installing non-barrier polling station entrances, supporting blind voters by providing ballot slip covers with Braille printing, and setting up wheelchair-accessible polling booths. Once handicapped voters enter a polling station, station staff actively assists them. Efficient polling and vote counting process. Polling starts at 8 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. on Election Day. Voters collect their paper ballots, which are colored according to the election, mark their votes in polling booths, and place them into the boxes. After the poll closes, all polling stations are rearranged for vote counting. Vote counting is done in 2 stages. First, counting is done manually. Polling stations are rearranged as vote counting stations. To get a vote count, station staff are required to take out each ballot out of the box one by one consecutively, read the vote out loud, and display it to a public witness. Seats for the witnesses must also be arranged. After the counting at stations, managers make a written report of the results and post the report outside the station. Each copy must be signed by the station manager and be given to party or independent candidate representatives. The final count is done by computer following the completion of the manual count. Each poll manager is required to send a messenger to deliver the station results to the township, city or district electoral operation centers, so the results can be entered into a centralized computing system to compile and update statistics on the election results. The Central Information Center for Election provides the most up-to-date election results to the public. The final results are usually available about 4 hours after the polls close. To make it convenient for the candidates to verify the results, within 10 days after the electee lists are publicly posted, election commissions will provide a list of the results, itemized by polling station, to the candidates. Rapid and convenient accessibility of election information. With the development of the Internet, one could check up-to-date polling counts through Taiwan's election website on election night, regardless of one's current location. Furthermore, the CEC also utilizes its own website to release election-related news and provide an election law and regulation online library service and a search engine for past election results data. Referendums. The political rights of election, recall, initiative, and referendum of the people of Taiwan are firmly entrenched in the Constitution of the country. On December 31, 2003, the Referendum Act was enacted and established a legal basis for the people to vote directly on laws or issues of importance. This has moved the country significantly forward towards its goals of realizing the full potential of individual sovereign rights and has empowered the people of Taiwan to exercise direct democracy. The Act stipulates referendums can be initiated by citizens through petition drives, by legislative motions, or at the President's request. The CEC reviews non-local, nationwide referendum proposal initiators' signatures and the second stage petitioner signatures. Local election commissions are responsible for the polling proceedings. Since 2004, 6 proposals for 3 nationwide referendums were voted on. Although all 6 proposals received an overwhelming majority of yes votes, less than the required 50% quorum of voters marked ballots on any question. Thus, the referendum's results were rendered void. Future prospects. Elections and referendums are the foundation for democracy. After a decade of development, Taiwan has established its own democratic electoral institution. Based on this solid foundation, the CEC will continuously strengthen the legal system to support elections, improve the quality of services, reinforce the effectiveness of elections, and still firmly adhere to the principles of independence and impartiality to ensure freedom, fairness, and transparency in every election. All of these efforts are made to nurture an elegant electoral culture and form a democratic constitutional protocol.